Pixar has hidden the same secret in almost every movie they've ever made for nearly 30 years. A pizza truck that shows up in films set centuries apart. A document that says the same 3 letters in movie after movie. A world where toys, monsters, bugs, cars, and superheroes are all quietly part of one connected timeline. Most people think these are just cute Easter eggs. They're not. When you line them all up, they tell a hidden story, one that Pixar has never confirmed and never denied. I'm going to show you the real, on-screen clues, and then the theory that ties them together into a single universe. And by the end, I'll show you the one detail that connects a little girl's imagination to the villains of every Pixar movie. Stay with me. This changes how you watch all of them. Let's start with what's undeniable, because you can pause and check every single one of these yourself. Clue 1. The Pizza Planet truck. That rusty delivery truck from the first Toy Story shows up in nearly every Pixar film. It's in A Bug's Life. It's in Monsters, Inc. It's in Finding Nemo. It's in Cars, in WALL-E, in Brave, a movie set in medieval Scotland, centuries before pizza delivery trucks existed. And it's still there. Pixar deliberately drags this one object across every era of history. Clue 2. The letters A113. Look closely and you'll spot A113 hidden in every Pixar movie. On a license plate, a door, a code. It's a real Easter egg, a nod to a classroom at the animation school many Pixar artists attended. But in the theory, it becomes something bigger, a recurring marker tying the films together. Clue 3. Characters cross over. The Luxo ball and Luxo lamp. Nemo shows up in Monsters, Inc. before Finding Nemo existed. Characters appear in each other's worlds constantly. On their own, these are winks. But a pattern this consistent, this deliberate, across 30 years? Fans started asking the obvious question. What if these aren't winks? What if they're breadcrumbs? This is where the famous Pixar theory comes in. And I want to be clear, this is a fan theory. Pixar has never confirmed it. But it's built on those real clues, and once you hear it, you can't unsee it. The theory says all Pixar movies take place in one universe, across one timeline, and the thread connecting them is a single idea: the relationship between humans, animals, and machines, and how that relationship slowly falls apart. It goes like this. Brave establishes that magic is real in this world, that objects and animals can hold a kind of will of their own. That magic is really early energy, the spark that eventually gives machines and animals intelligence. Fast forward, and you get the era of superhumans, the Incredibles, where human ability peaks. Then, as humans lean harder on machines and pollute the world, you get the era of Toy Story and Monsters, Inc., where objects and doors and toys are quietly becoming sentient. Every movie is a rung on a ladder, and the ladder is leading somewhere dark. Here's the part of the theory that genuinely got under my skin, because it explains the one Pixar movie that always felt different. WALL-E. Think about WALL-E. Humans have destroyed the Earth with pollution and consumption. They've abandoned the planet entirely, floating in space while machines run everything. In the theory, this is the climax of the whole timeline. The moment the machines finally inherit the world, exactly as all those earlier films were quietly building toward. The sentient toys, the talking cars, the monsters harvesting energy. It was all leading to the day humans wore out the planet and left the machines behind. And here's the detail that ties it to the beginning. Remember, Brave. Magic, will, energy, and objects. The theory says that same force is what eventually wakes up everything. The toys, the cars, the machines. The magic of the first films becomes the artificial life of the last ones. The beginning and the end of Pixar's timeline are the same idea, separated by centuries. One studio, decades of movies that look completely unrelated, a fish, a rat, a car, a robot. And underneath, a single story about a world slowly handing itself over to the things humans created. That's either the greatest coincidence in film history or the most patient piece of hidden storytelling ever made. And now the thing I promised at the start, how a little girl's imagination connects to every Pixar villain. Inside Out shows us something no other Pixar movie does: the actual machinery of a mind. Emotions as characters, memories as objects. And here's the theory's boldest leap. If minds in the Pixar universe work like this, with emotions that can take control, then it reframes every villain in the studio's history. Think about it. Pixar villains are almost never cackling evil. They're driven by a single overwhelming emotion: fear in the case of the ones who hoard control, sadness twisted into resentment, anger that took the wheel. Inside Out gives you the blueprint for how a good character becomes a villain, not through evil, but through one emotion seizing the console and refusing to let go. Suddenly, the whole Pixar universe has a psychology. The connected timeline isn't just objects and Easter eggs. It's a world that runs on the exact emotional rules Inside Out laid out. That's the piece that turns a fun Easter egg hunt into something that actually feels intentional. Now, let me be honest and argue the other side, because there's a strong case that this whole thing is beautiful nonsense. Here's the skeptical view. The Pizza Planet truck and A113 are just Easter eggs. Animators reusing assets and inside jokes, the way every studio does. There's no grand plan. Humans love finding patterns, and if you're determined to connect anything, you can. Pixar makes standalone films about whatever story excites them, and fans stitched a theory over the top afterward. Pixar has never confirmed a shared timeline because there isn't one, and that's fair. Honestly, it's probably mostly true. Most of these connections were never meant as a master plan, but here's why I still love it. And why I lean into it anyway. It doesn't actually matter whether Pixar planned it. The connections are real. The truck is really in Brave. A113 is really in all of them. The crossovers really happen. Pixar built a universe consistent enough that a theory this elaborate can even exist. Whether they meant to or not, they made a world that hangs together. And that's kind of magical on its own. So here's where I land. Every Pixar movie is connected through real, on-screen clues Pixar has planted for 30 years. Whether those clues form one intentional timeline or just the most consistent Easter egg game in film history is the question. But once you've seen the pizza truck in medieval Scotland and a 113 in every single film, you cannot watch these movies the same way again. Now, I want your honest take. Is the Pixar theory real? A deliberate hidden universe? Or is it fans connecting dots that were never meant to connect? Drop "it's real" or just Easter eggs in the comments, and tell me the wildest connection you've spotted. I'm replying for the first hour this goes live, so come argue with me. And the real question I keep circling, if Pixar did plan all this from the start, how? How do you plot a 30-year hidden story across movies about a fish, a rat, and a robot, and never once tell the audience? Because if it's real, it's the most patient piece of storytelling ever made. This is the kind of thing this channel lives for. The hidden depth in the movies you grew up with. Hit subscribe, because we are just getting started on Pixar. See you in the next one.